laser you, goddammit! I'll laser every fucking one of you!
So I recently started rewatching The Boys again, and I noticed something as I watched the latest episode that's been released. This is still the most terrifying scene from The Boys. I know we have seen some horrifying things from the show, but this scene is the one thing that I think about the most whenever I come back to this show because of how utterly scary it is. Not only does this depict Homelander as one of the scariest in the entire show, but the scene itself doesn't rely on a lot of gore or a huge bloodbath in order for you to feel the impending doom that these people are feeling. So a plane has been hijacked by terrorists. Homelander and Maeve are called to stop it for PR purposes, of course. You see, Vought wants Soups in the military, and stopping a hijacked plane would make it look like the military would benefit from this. So Maeve and Homelander seemingly stop all of the terrorists, and the day is saved until Maeve discovers the door to the cockpit is jammed. There's another guy in there with a gun to the pilot's head. He shoots him, and Homelander lasers him, destroying the control panel to the plane. People go flying in the air. There's mass panic. Realizing there's nothing that can be done to steer the plane to safety, Homelander's just like, well, our mission's done, and we can leave already. So Maeve, who obviously is the only one with a conscience, is trying to solve the problem and come up with solutions, but Homelander shoots every single idea down.
Okay, you take everybody one by one, you fly them to the ground.
Come back 123 times?
I mean, come on, you can at least try to lift the fucking plane. Just try. I literally say that every time, knowing that it doesn't change what happened. It's also because Homelander just doesn't really give a shit. He doesn't care if people live or die, so he doesn't care to try to save them either. As Maeve is walking down the aisle, the people on the plane start to realize that they're leaving them. It's just the panic in the voices of the people that start to realize, and I literally start to feel anxiety from this. The most terrifying part of the situation is that Homelander is calming these people, very well knowing that he's about to leave them to die.
That was a big one!
Please.
Everything's fine, guys. Everything's fine.
The panic from all of the people just makes my heart sink. Homelander is looking at the situation as to what looks best to the public, instead of thinking how he can save the most people that he can. This dichotomy with his response compared to Maeve's, who clearly still cares for human life, makes this scene equally frustrating as it does terrifying. The way he tells this little girl that he's going to save them, lying straight to her face as she holds the baby doll, is so scary to me that this is one of the first things I think of when I think of this show.
Homelander, are you going to save us?
Oh, sweetheart, of course I'm gonna save you. You betcha.
I think it's also because of how realistic the acting is delivered by everyone here. Like, I actually believe that these people are in terror. I feel this scene in every excruciating detail. The way these flight attendants help this poor woman who's clearly hurt herself, or the way these two people are communicating with each other as if they're saying goodbye or they know that they're going to die. The way Maeve is looking around in sadness as she realizes there's nothing that can be done. The apathy that Homelander has to the whole situation. The overlapping screams of terror from everyone. This is an excruciating 4 minutes. In real life, we've heard of plane crashes and disasters before, and what those people in those scenarios were feeling. Aside from the superhero aspect of the scene, this is as realistic to a real life terror that a person can go through if met with this situation, and every time I cry for these people. It brings tears to my eyes every time, and that is because these are regular people just wanting to get home, and this is the fate that they're met with. These people, just like us, with hopes and dreams whose lives were cut short. I feel for these people, and they're just fucking extras in a TV show. That's how you know that there's good writing, there's good acting and directing, because the emotions are felt. So, in one last-ditch effort, Maeve pulls his daughter and her mother over to Homelander, begging him to at least take them. As people notice that Maeve is trying to save the mother and daughter, we also see other people running down the aisle to also be saved and begging for them to save their lives, and it's just really hard to watch, which is why I keep saying how this is literally the most horrifying moment of the show.
No,
Homelander, even with the most innocent of life, like a child, responds like this.
Now what? So they can tell the world that we left the rest of them to fucking die?
These people continue to beg Maeve to save them, and you can just feel for the character and the weight of the guilt that she feels. She has no power to be able to do anything, and the person that does have any power doesn't give a shit. You even hear a woman in the back say this. And that will just haunt Maeve for the rest of her life. Constantly hearing that, knowing that she could never save all of these people. Homelander calls for her one last time.
Don't die with them.
And she goes with him, unfortunately leaving the people on the plane to die. The fact that they are just floating in the air watching from afar is also disturbing, knowing very well what just happened and the horror that those people are going through as the plane is going to crash. So after that, we learn that no one survived, and Homelander still takes this opportunity to make it about him and a PR stunt to make it look like this is what happens when supes aren't in the military. If they were in the military, then this wouldn't have happened.
Said they didn't have to die. If they let us into the military, then this will never.
And you just see in this character the just complete lack of care for human life or anything. And I think even after all this time watching the show, now we're on season 4, they can show me all the bloodbath, they can show me all the gore, any shocking event that they want, but no other scene will make me feel as terrified as I did watching this.